Mics are on.
All righty. Welcome to our May 4th, 2026 Troy Council meeting. Please silence all cell phones for the duration of the meeting. Tonight's our invocation and pledge will be led by Mrs. Westfall. Please stand.
Please bow your head. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving us the privilege of living in this beautiful city. Help us to maintain our city and make every attempt to meet the real needs of citizens while being good stewards of our tax money. Help us to always speak truth and openly bring our citizens along in the process. Guide this council and our city leaders towards decisions that reflect your heart and your desires, Jesus. Protect our first responders as they work to protect our city. Protect our citizens and all visitors to our city as they shop, work, go to school, drive, walk, bike, and participate in city activities. We pray protection over all the volunteers that help to make Troy beautiful and offer help to their neighbors, especially the group working this next week. We ask a special blessing for all who do this without seeking any recognition in return. Help us never to grow tired of doing good in our city. We ask all these things in the holy name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Mrs. Knight, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Whidden? Mrs. Snee? Here. Mr. Phillips?
Here.
Mrs. Westfall?
Here.
Mr. Twist?
Here.
Ms. Hickman?
Here.
Mr. Sievert?
Here.
Mrs. Marshall?
Here.
Mr. Schilling?
Present. Motion to excuse Mr. Whidden. Second.
Motion to excuse Mr. Whidden by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Schilling. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mr. Whidden is excused.
Thank you. Would you please read the minutes of April 20th?
Mayor's concert or
Mayor's got people to introduce? It's not on here.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, the youngest people in the room, come on up here.
Young at heart. Young at heart.
And for the camera purposes,
It's all relative.
all around, just stand with your back against the wood.
I think you might. You could.
No rabbit ears, Bill. No rabbit ears.
Hey, I dodged the other pictures they took last time, the firefighters.
Spread out a little bit. Okay, guys, come around this way. Kathy, you come over here with the girls. Guys, come on over. All the way down this way. And girls, spread out a little bit this way. How's that? Good, okay. So this was this year's Mayor's Youth Council. We've had several events this year. We just ended with the scavenger hunt last week. Had a lot of fun, great weather. My team won for the first time. Grant, where are you? Grant's won like 3 times, so I was really happy that we pulled it off. We did Hobart Arena. We had a strategic planning session where we talked about things that are good in the city, things they'd like to see, and things that we can change. That was a lot of fun. That was Offshore Pizza Night. What was a favorite for you guys? For Hobart Arena? You like that? Alex? The scavenger hunt? That was a lot of fun. Anybody else? It was all good. It was all good. So I have just a gift certificate for them, just that says that they participated this year, and on the back is a little surprise for them. Don't let them forget to take this off with us. They'll be very excited to see it. I like that. This young man goes by Dumbledore. 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 So sorry. All right, Alan. Watch me get these names right tonight, except Dumbledore. Evan. Kathy. Samuel. Alex. Gerardo.
You forgot my name. It's Gerard.
Gerardo.
No.
Jerry. If
Yeah.
I put a hard G on it, it's supposed to be a soft G. I'm supposed to just call him Jerry, so I get it right. Alyssa. Eve is not here. Macy. Macy's mom is here. Macy's mom did this when she was this age too. Raise your hand, Mom. Yeah. Nolan is not here. Ellie. Forrest. Lillian. I knew that. Vivian. Sophia. Parents, thank you to all of you for making sure your kids got into these programs. We enjoyed having them so much. It was really, really a great year, and I can't believe that the school year is coming to a close already. But huge thank you to you guys for letting me do this.
Congratulations.
I wonder why. Parents, you're welcome to stay for all the upcoming fun for the council meeting, but you're also free to leave right now.
That guy was up.
One out of
Get a lot wider.
50 beans, they can stay.
You can leave anytime.
Next time, we'll do
You're
50
duly
beans.
elected.
Wow.
We could cut that option down, and we'll just do it at the end next time. This, so they stay.
Still a good crowd.
Hmm?
Still a good crowd.
Good group of kids.
All right, let's try this again. How about the minutes now, please?
Minutes of Council, April 20, 2026. Committee reports. Community and Economic Development Committee recommended the final record plan of Phase 2 of the Somerset Reserve Plan development be accepted. Committee recommended legislation be prepared extending moratoriums by an additional 90-day period related to community-oriented residential social service facilities and automobile fuel dispensing stations and automobile service stations. Community Partnerships Committee recommended legislation be prepared, recommending a 7-year agreement for street lighting. Committee recommended legislation be prepared, authorizing a lease between the Board of Park Commissioners and the CIC related to the barn in the park. Committee recommended that there be an agreement with the Troy Area Chamber of Commerce related to the 2026 Troy Strawberry Festival. There was a discussion related to a moratorium on gasoline stations. Resolution number R24, 2026, agreement for street lighting for 7 years, first reading and adopted. Ordinance number 018, 2026, final record plan, Somerset Reserve Plan development. Phase 2 was given first reading and was adopted. Ordinance number 019, 2026, moratorium on an extension of the moratorium related to community-oriented residential social service facilities, applications related to automobile service stations was given first reading and adopted. Ordinance number 020, 2026, authorizing Board of Park Commissioners to enter into lease with the CIC regarding Barn in the Park was given first reading and adopted. Ordinance number 021, 2026, regarding use of public areas related to the Troy Strawberry Festival was given first reading and was adopted. Ordinance number 022, 2026, extending The Dora area for the Troy Strawberry Festival was given first reading and adopted. There was a presentation regarding the Child Advocacy Center. Following various comments, council then adjourned at 8:14 p.m.
Move to accept the minutes as read.
Motion to accept the minutes by Mr. Twist.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schilling. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall,
Yes.
Mr. Twist,
Yes.
Ms. Hickman,
Yes.
Mr. Sievert,
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall,
Yes.
Mr. Schilling,
Yes.
Mrs. Snee.
Yes.
Minutes are approved.
Thank you. Starting with committee reports tonight, we will start with finance and Mr. Sievert.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee members, Ms. Westfall and myself, met April 27th regarding an agreement with the Dayton-Montgomery County Port Authority for the Port Authority to issue a sales tax exemption for costs related to the rehabilitation of the Terrace Ridge apartment complex at 1312 McKay Avenue. Because the project will be located in the city of Troy and not within the immediate jurisdiction of the Port Authority requires the city approve a cooperative agreement related to its participation. The city has enacted similar legislation for Clopay, Story Point, and Comio projects. Under the cooperative agreement, the city of Troy specifically has no responsibilities for the financial viability or the oversight of the project. Therefore, it is recommended that it is recommendation of this committee that legislation be prepared authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety to execute a cooperative agreement with the Dayton-Montgomery County Port Authority related to the Terrace Ridge project. Respectfully submitted, Mr. Whidden, Ms. Westfall, and myself as Chairman of the Finance Committee.
Questions, comments? Thank you, sir. Moving on to streets and sidewalks, Mr. Phillips.
Thank you, sir. The full committee met on April 27 regarding authorizing bidding for the downtown safety streetscape renovation project. The project scope is discussed in the detailed report, and it is the recommendation of this committee that legislation be prepared authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the downtown safety streetscape renovation project at a cost not to exceed $12 million. This is respectfully submitted by Mrs. Marshall, Mr. Schilling, and myself as chair.
Any questions or comments?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling.
I would like to, I know I talked about this in committee, and I'd like to reiterate some important things about this, what they essentially call these flashing lights, pedestrian lights. We left this discussion after we received a boatload of traffic studies, and I want to remind everybody that these traffic studies were written by traffic engineers for traffic engineers, and their main purpose is to move traffic. Safety sometimes comes as a secondary objective. These are the same engineers that wanted us to spend over $1 million on our traffic circle to save 20 seconds of time, and we told them no. Many of these traffic studies that were given to us were old, and of course many do not reflect the uniqueness of the city of Troy. What they all had in common were two characteristics. They felt that these pedestrian safety signs, these flashing signs, slowed traffic and were a distraction. But that's exactly what we want and need. We want to slow the traffic coming into our traffic circle in downtown Troy. And we want to distract drivers away from their cell phones, their internet, their text messages, and their 15-inch screens in their vehicles where they play Candy Crush or read a book. So again, it's to draw their attention to the pedestrian crosswalks. And again, we're not Las Vegas. We don't have a lot of other distractions in downtown Troy. We don't have a bunch of LED lights or flashing signs. We don't have people dressed in various costumes, waving signs that solicit our attention. The problem with our square is that you have a tendency to focus on the traffic in the roundabout area and look past the pedestrian crosswalks. So these flashing signs are, again, to bring your attention, if it's a distraction, bring your attention to the crosswalks and not out past the crosswalks. And again, I think any traffic sign, traffic lights, the policemen sitting in the various parking lots, or side streets running radar are a distraction to our driving. And these signs that we're talking about are distractions, but I do believe they are very needed. And then we are also given traffic statistics that I think are very interesting. In the early 2020s on North Market Street, our police recorded 1 to 2 pedestrian-involved accidents per year. And that was near the crosswalk, crossing into the school properties where the high school and the junior high school are located, is where these pedestrian-involved accidents happened. And of course, a pedestrian-involved accident means that some kid got ran over, got hit by a vehicle. These pedestrian safety signs were installed, this was back in the early 2020s, they were installed, and the reported incidents since then, there are none. So they do work. The other statistic that the administration felt was important was rear-end collisions in and around the downtown traffic circle. And rear-end collisions are caused by stupidity. You're not driving with assured clear distance. Again, you're talking on a phone, or you're trying to push the driver in front of you ahead by driving too close to the bumper of the vehicle in front of you. I'm not done.
Okay.
What the discussion boils down to is this. At the end of the day, and I'm talking to our council people here, can you tell the residents of Troy that you have done everything possible to protect them when they visit the downtown, shop in the shops, eat in the restaurants, and walk through the downtown square? A vote for the flashing lights is doing everything possible to protect our residents and visitors to Troy. So when this comes up to a vote, I'm going to ask for an amendment to add these pedestrian flashing lights. Thank you.
No, I would say.
Anyone else? You have another report, correct?
I do, sir. Thank you. This committee met also on April 27 to consider the recommendation of the Troy Planning Commission that council accept the dedication of right-of-way along the property at 2800 McCaig Road. It is the recommendation of the committee that legislation be prepared accepting the dedication of .850 acres along State Route 718 and .612 acres along McCaig Road, with the property having an address of 2800 McCaig Road and it as recommended by the Troy Planning Commission. This again is respectfully submitted by Mrs. Marshall, Mr. Schilling, and myself as chair.
Questions, concerns, comments on this? Thank you very much. Moving on to citizens' comments on any committee reports or agenda items tonight. If you would like to comment on anything that we have on our agenda, please come forward, give your name and address for the record, and at this point you'll have 2 minutes to express whatever you want to in relation to our agenda. Mr. Kerber will be timekeeper if necessary.
The whole agenda?
No, anything on the agenda.
I have some questions about Terrace Ridge. I'm not sure.
Okay, that'd be fine. You can come up, podium, give your name and address for the record, ask your questions, and we'll cut you off after 2 minutes.
This is my first time, so bear with me. I'm curious about... Amy Allen.
Address?
227 South Ridge,
Okay.
Troy, Ohio.
Now go.
Born and raised. I'm curious just about the Terrace Ridge development in general. It has, 127 units? Is that correct? Does anybody know?
167.
How many, Todd?
Here's the whole detailed report, which might help you.
I just wondered if you were gonna add more.
Yeah, the Terrace Ridge apartment complex has been purchased by Terrace Ridge Developer LLC. The new owner will be rehabilitating the existing 167 low-moderate income garden-style residential units that are located on one tax parcel that includes 50 studios, 81 bedroom and 37 two-bedroom units. This will be known as the Terrace Ridge Project. The project is located on 13.91 acres at 1312 McCaig Avenue. A minimum of 10% of the residential units will be converted to mobility accessible, and 2% will be made audio-visual accessible. The new owner, Terrace Ridge Developer LLC, is an affiliate of Related Affordable LLC and will be developing the project. The Terrace Ridge project will be supported by a 4% low-income housing tax credit, and then the balance is just talking about because we're not in the city of Troy, and they're going to get funding from Montgomery County Port Authority. We just have to agree that we're not going to get it. So it's really money that is going to rehabilitate those units, not from the city.
Okay. So, has there been a traffic study? Is any of that gonna change? I don't know how far along you are in this,
Mr.
it
Chair,
just came to my attention, so.
These are already existing units.
Okay.
There's not gonna be any additional units built.
All right. Okay. That's all I have. That's all I want. That's all. And the flashing light thing, I don't know if you've been to Venice, Florida, the flashing light. They're amazing. The pedestrian, is that what you're proposing? Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Anyone else? Then we will move on to resolutions. Mrs. Knight, will you please read Resolution R 25, 2026, please?
Resolution number R 25, 2026. Resolution authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Troy, Ohio, to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the downtown safety/streetscape renovation project. Cost not to exceed $12 million. This is the first reading.
Move for suspension.
Motion to suspend the readings by Mr. Phillips.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Snee. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall? Yes. Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Move to amend.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Phillips. Hang on a minute, Jeff. And second by Ms. Hickman. Mrs. Knight.
Bill, I've asked the motion to amend.
Okay, but she's got to record this first. Now you can have discussion on
I
it.
think we can.
Huh?
We can't vote to adopt it and then amend it.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's adopted, it can't be amended after
Okay,
that.
you're in.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. I would, at this time, like to
Mr.
make
We
Okay.
have to act on the initial motion and second, and then it can be amended after that.
I thought he just
No.
said you couldn't
No.
do that.
It's the opposite of that, right,
No, it
Grant?
has to be amended before we make
Yeah.
Do we have to do the motion because it was seconded before the...
So how bad did I screw it up, Grant?
Well, Mr. Schilling indicated that he was going to
Okay.
make a motion to amend. As council president, you can go ahead and if you want to entertain that before there's a motion to adopt it, you can.
There's already one on the floor.
We have a motion
And
to
a
adopt
second.
on the floor, that's why I'm amending it now.
Can I second it?
You would need to amend it before there was a motion to adopt. So, as far as, you know, there's not a motion to, call the question in front of that. As far as the,
Other than he stated when he made his comments, he was going to do it.
I said I was gonna do it
when we were going to vote.
before we voted.
Well, Mr. President, I'll call the question.
What's our procedure, Grant? What am I leaving out or screwing up?
well, there was the motion, on the question, and, that was, once there's a motion to adopt, that takes precedence over the motion to amend, according to the rules.
Okay, so Bobby's called the question, so we vote on the first and second. So which would leave them to, if they do not
They
like
can vote
that,
accordingly.
they need to vote the way they feel according to what has been moved and seconded, correct?
And that's correct, and if it fails, then we might have to go through the committee process again.
So at this point, Mrs. Knight needs to call the roll. Sorry, Joe.
And just to be clear, this is on the adoption of it. Is that correct, Mr. President?
What we're,
On Bobby,
Bidding on
Mr.
the-
Phillips, called the question.
on the
to
bidding
adopt
for the
it.
streetscape, right?
Yes.
But this
Yes.
is just the bidding of the initial authorization.
Yes.
So if we want to change something down the time, we would always have the right to do that. This is the initial contract.
Well, this is to set it out for bid, and then in the legislation, it says that it authorizes the Service and Safety Director to award a bid.
Right.
With the specifications.
To those
Yes.
specifications
To
as
those
exist now,
specifications,
which is
yes.
as drawn.
The question's been called.
Well, I know,
I don't
we're,
think you can discuss anything after that, can you?
Mr.
We're
President.
not, we're just discussing the procedure we're doing. And I've asked Mrs. Knight,
That's what a call to the question is.
and I've asked Mrs. Knight to call the roll, and then we
I know.
started talking again.
It's appropriate to call the roll.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall? Yes. Mr. Schilling?
No.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
No.
Motion is adopted.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Is it, and as probably goes to Grant, we cannot make any amendments to this, what we just did, right?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Okay. But that would not prohibit us from doing that in the future, even though it's going to go out for bid.
There are some options, and we can discuss those. As far as, if it can go out for bid, and, you know, if there's a call to have, that resolution either repealed or amended, that could go through the committee process. It would be like any other legislation.
Or we can add any additional projects to the deal like we would any other modification of a contract. So if we, after it's designed, if we say, hey, those islands in the middle aren't going to be sufficient, we would have the right to come back and look at it.
No.
Sure.
This is really getting wild. No, this is an authorization to bid based on design and engineer drawings that we already have. So then, as long as it's under the $12 million and we have a best and lowest bid, then that this issue is over.
I understand that.
It's not an amendment.
But that wasn't my question. My point was, just like if we decide we want to add a pickleball court to the park, even after we've acknowledged it, we have the right to do that. And that's all I'm saying is, Mr. the reason we went forward with this is that's based upon the specifications that were designed. Everybody was here. We've had 3 meetings, 5 meetings probably on it. That's fine. But to Mr. Schilling's point, if it's something that as it progresses, we wish to add or take away from, i.e. the water feature, which we took away from it, we would still have the right to do that. We're going to bid this right now under those specifications.
The water feature was a totally different thing. That was a concept, and it was taken out before the designs were done. This is now an authorization to bid. So the amending anything is really not the appropriate process going forward. There would have to be a new process.
There could be an avenue to add features to this project or to modify that. But what has been authorized is pursuant to the bids and specification. That's going to go out to bid.
Could you forward me the avenues that would be available?
Make an appointment with him and talk to him.
Yeah, just forward me that information if you could. Thank you.
Moving on. Resolution R 26, 2026. Mrs. Knight, will you please read that?
Resolution number R 26, 2026. Resolution authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Troy, Ohio, to execute a cooperative agreement with the Dayton Montgomery County Port Authority related to the Terrace Ridge project. First reading.
Do we have any questions on this?
Move
Move to suspend.
Second.
Motion to suspend the readings by Mr. Sievert, seconded by Mrs. Snee. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Mrs. Snee, seconded by Mr. excuse me, Mrs. Snee, seconded by Mr. Twist. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Resolution is adopted.
Moving on to ordinances. Mrs. Knight, will you please read ordinance O 23, 2026?
Ordinance number O-23, 2026. Ordinance accepting the easements for highway purposes, McCaig Road, and the dedication of right-of-way located at 2800 McCaig Road in the city of Troy, Ohio. This has been recommended by the Troy Planning Commission. First reading.
Move for suspension.
Second.
Motion to suspend the readings by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Twist. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Sievert, seconded by Mr. Phillips. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted.
Mrs. Knight, will you please read ordinance O 24, 2026?
Ordinance number O-24, 2026. Ordinance to accept the application for the annexation of certain territory containing 0.667 acres more or less in Concord Township to the city of Troy, Ohio. This is known as the McAdams annexation located at 3110 West Fenner Road. Council has previously authorized this annexation. It's been returned after approved by the county. This is for the final approval. First reading.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Motion to suspend by Mr. Twist, seconded by Ms. Hickman. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Twist. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted.
Thank you. That's it for our business. Any announcements or this evening?
Yes, just to note that council has been invited to the Memorial Day ceremonies that'll be held this year. There hasn't been a ceremony quite like this in a few years, so please let me know if you'll be attending.
Thank you. Mayor?
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Mr. Titterington?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have nothing as well.
We'll just keep it rolling, Mr.
That's what I figured.
President.
We'll jump over to Law Director.
Well, seeing that there's a gap in the comments, I'm going to jump in.
Good.
First off, I might be stealing somebody's thunder. Tomorrow is a primary day, so get out and vote. And then the other thing, and I believe we have a deadline coming up for all council members to fill out their Ethics Commission questionnaires. That's May 15th. That's all I have.
All righty. Mr. Twist?
I'm shocked that Grant said something, so I have nothing to add at this.
Well, I'll give you a minute or two to
No, nothing
recover.
to add, nothing to add.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Well, it's been a crazy meeting, so that's why you probably talked.
It has.
Mr. Phillips?
I have no comments other than a question to Mrs. Knight. We did not get any questionnaire.
It's normal filing of your...
It's email. You get an email.
Did we get an email on that?
Yes.
You would have from the state.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Ms. Hickman, if Mr. Phillips is done.
Yes.
I want to invite everybody to Erlanger Park this Friday for the truck yard. There looks to be some fun food trucks that will be attending. The band looks fun as well. I know that the Development Department will have some nice mock-ups of Erlanger Park as well as the Riverfront Plaza, so that is kind of neat to come and check out. And then also this week, is Rock the Block. So that is initiative with Habitat for Humanity and the Development Department. They identify neighborhoods that have been having trouble with some code issues, whether that is paint peeling, gutter issues, all kinds of landscaping, overgrowth. I know some of it has been going on. I know the JVS came out and helped last week to pull some away, and this week is the big initiative of it, and they are in the neighborhood that is kind of across from the boathouse. Yeah, it's a great initiative to be a part of.
Mrs. Marshall?
I just wanted to congratulate all the Mayor's Youth Council. I think that's a great program, and the kids benefit from that a lot. So congratulations to those kids.
Thank you. Mr. Schilling?
I have nothing to say at this time.
Mrs. Westfall?
I have a couple of things. I, too, want to encourage people to get out and vote, and I'm a big supporter of Rock the Block. And I've had a few neighbors and business people come to me about that. Something that's becoming a growing concern downtown, young people riding their motorized scooters and bikes on the sidewalks at high speeds. A couple of people I know have almost been hit. The downtown Troy is one of our best parts of our community. Families walk there, seniors enjoy it, parents with strollers and small children, shoppers coming in and out of the businesses. Our sidewalks should feel safe for everyone. Right now, too often they don't. This is not about criticizing kids or stopping people from having fun. Yeah, I rode motorcycles as a kid. I get it. It's about safety and common sense. We're not supposed to have bicycles on the sidewalks being ridden downtown. But we are definitely seeing motorized scooters and bikes flying down the sidewalks, creating a real danger for pedestrians. I feel like it's only a matter of time before someone gets seriously hurt. When you step out of a shop or restaurant or approach a corner, that's where it seems to be especially dangerous. I would support bringing back downtown bike officers or walking officers. Their presence would help with enforcement, education, and prevention. Sometimes just having an officer visible and engaged can make all the difference. It would send the message that downtown Troy is a place where safety matters. I would much rather prevent a problem than before a serious injury occurs. I appreciate the time to speak out about this and hope council would consider acting on that. Thank you.
Mrs. Sneed.
I would definitely support Mrs. Westphal in that concern. Not quite sure how we address it or if ways could be proposed. Some of your ideas are educating students through their officers, student resource officers, might be helpful also, but it is an issue that is a concern. I'd just also like to thank Mayor Oda and Mr. Kerber, and I believe Mr. Davis, who helps with the Mayor's Youth Council. Two of those students are my fifth graders, so proud of all of those kids and glad they have that opportunity. Thank you for your work with that.
Mr. Siebert.
This is the problem of going last. I had Hurlinger on my list, so please, everyone, come to Hurlinger Park for that. I did mention something actually to some council members, and I want to compliment the mayor. I saw her on the scavenger hunt, and she was truly in just the joy on the kid's face and her face on walking them through there was very well deserved, and thank you for doing that, Mayor. I want to thank those who attended. I think there were 4 to 5 council members. Unfortunately, I got a call and had to leave for the expansion of the historic district meeting that was held at the library last week. And finally, I drove past Market Street baseball, softball today. There was a track meet, the baseball game, and a softball game all at Market Street, and it was hopping. So I know we're looking at doing a few things, perhaps with some parking and some other things, but please, if you're going through that intersection, be careful. Lots of people aren't following the crosswalks, and it's pretty tempting to just run across the street quickly and get to the senior citizen center. And so it was nice. Look, congratulations to Troy baseball. They're having a great season. I don't know how softball is doing, but it was packed, and that's good to see for Troy.
Thank you. Echo the comments of Mrs.
I just heard softball's undefeated.
Yes,
so softball's undefeated, and I think Troy's lost 1 game in baseball.
Yep.
So we're doing well.
Just want to echo the comments that I've also heard from other people to extend beyond downtown on the bikes. It's the motorized bikes, also in neighborhoods, on sidewalks, and not paying attention. I'm not sure what to do, but we need to come up with something. And then a clarification question. We don't want to start a big argument. The roundabout of West Main Experiment Farm in Stanfield, is it an ODOT project or is it a city project? Or is it a combination of?
Well, it's
Who
a
has final
combination,
say?
but it's an ODOT-led project. It's
paying.
got many phases, many parts of the process to go forward. That's not coming before the council.
True.
I don't even know if, Jill, that's not one that we're bidding anyway, are we? The roundabout slash...
And/or straightening intersection of West Main and Experiment Farm.
It's ours, but we've got to go through an ODOT process. The next step will be to have a public
They are having
meeting.
one on May 7th, correct? Or July 7th?
That's a tentative. That has not yet been set in stone, that we have to work with ODOT on that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the date, was it
That's
last
the tentative
week, right?
date that,
Okay.
that we have penciled in for now. Correct.
I'll leave it at that for right now. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
I did forget about, with the e-bikes and whatnot, I guess I had a neighbor kid that got hit, yesterday, because he just flew across the street and hit an Uber driver. But many neighbors have asked since yesterday, what is the difference from a moped to an e-bike, and where do those different classifications fall?
Well, it is state law. There are 3 classifications of those bikes or motorized devices. I can tell you that the state legislature is interested in looking at it. This is not a Troy concern. I think that in hindsight, I want to say it was only a couple, 3 years ago that they modified the rules and the regulations. And my understanding is that the legislature wants to take a closer look at that and maybe change some of the regulations. Not sure what that is. They're doing surveys right now of the communities, and so hopefully something will come of that.
Thank you. I do think that the police department put out something
They did.
recently that was
Yeah.
just like clarifying some things.
They did, but I think
I
it,
know that there's more in-depth, but
They were asked
in case anybody wanted to see vaguely what it could
And,
possibly look.
you know, this is not the first time this issue has come up, and we have increased, the chief has increased patrols, walking at certain times of the day during the week. You know, catching them is not always the easiest either. But we are conscious of it. We are increasing our patrol around the downtown.
Okay.
may I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I live on Water Street, and there are e-bikes and scooters that race up and down the sidewalk, and we have some elderly neighbors that she was almost hit, and we walk the bike path all the time, and I know it's a bike path, but a lot of walkers use the bike path, and the electric bikes, you can't hear them, and what happened to us was an electric bike came behind us, and we were talking, we didn't hear it. The kid had headphones on, didn't announce himself or anything, and my husband almost got wiped out, and the kid just zoomed on by, and I know he was going 12 or 15 mile an hour. I know he was. So it's definitely something people need to be aware of, be looking around, pay attention, because the kids aren't necessarily going to pay attention.
And the only other thing I had to say is appreciate everybody that's had patience going out West Main Street in the last month and for the foreseeable future. There are people that blow through stop signs on Westbrook because they're not paying attention, and those are not bikes, those are cars.
Or block Dorset and Main.
Yes.
Still
or
block Dorset
actually,
and Main.
they also block Franklin and Market Street
Yeah.
this afternoon. So please kind of gauge your distance and speed and everything else. Other than that, we will open it up to staff. Any questions from staff? We have fire, we have recreation, we have police, we have engineering. Nobody. Citizens on anything and any topic, if you'd like to come back up and ask questions or get more information or... If not, Mr. Brendel.
Michael Brendel. I serve in a place of business at 110 West Water, and three things. One, I'm grateful for the council and the support that you have for Mr. Titterington and Mr. Davis to go meet with our partners. That will be occurring, I think, this next week. Some of the preparatory comments from Patrick and Tim is the connections that they have made with the sites that they are going to visit, as well as the executives that they're going to visit. This is a vital component to economic development for us in the city of Troy, as well as the region. So thank you for your support of that. We have screened 7 candidates for the permanent position of CEO of the Troy Development Council and President of the Troy Area Chamber of Commerce. We have 3 strong candidates, and we'll be concluding that selection over the next 3 weeks. And we're really pleased with the progression that has occurred through the interview team that is combined of both TAC board members as well as Development Council members. So good news on that front. And lastly, this is observation relative to some of the discussion about flashing lights. And I have 3 very real examples living in healthcare and having parking lots across from where the place of business was. My alumnus here and and Susan Westfall. There were flashing lights installed in front of Kettering College of Medical Arts on Southern Boulevard. We have still had 4 people that have been hit in that crosswalk. And one of the reasons is that, like most lights, people get used to them, and so it was not deemed effective, and so they worked with traffic engineers to come up with some different solutions. Same thing here on West Water for Kettering Health Troy. Those flashing lights, we've had them high, we've had them low. We still have the same thing. We've had 2 near misses there, as well as just speeding through that area. And then most recently, as president of Kettering Health Dayton, we have had one person hit, another one brushed or pushed aside, just averting a catastrophe. My recommendation would be is that if the traffic engineers that are providing us information are not effective or deemed out of date or irrelevant, that we have to find a traffic engineer that actually provides us the information that is relevant, or what I would say is current. In a nutshell, I question the efficacy of flashing lights for any place where pedestrians or employees cross. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mrs. Ruder.
Good evening, Kathy Roeder. I'm the Executive Director for the Troy Area Chamber of Commerce. Our office is at 510 West Water Street. I just wanted to mention that it's National Small Business Week, and so I think it's important for our community to go out and support those small businesses. They are the backbone of our community, and they choose to invest here in Troy, Ohio, so we'd like to give them support all the time, but this week in particular, I'd encourage you to go out and support our small businesses. And I also want to mention that we have 3 Leadership Troy attendees.
I was just going to ask you that. So
yes,
sorry.
they are as well.
If you'd like to let them stand.
Thank you. Do I have them stand?
Yes, please stand up.
Now we'll make it even worse. How about names to match faces?
No?
Yes.
She's like, for real?
Oh, come to the podium.
To the podium.
Terry Graves.
Lindsay Taylor. Kelsey Kavanaugh.
Thank you. Anyone else want to address on any other topics? Same thing. Amy.
I'll try to make this fast. I'm Amy Allen, and I live at 227 South Ridge. I really didn't come here because I was overly concerned about Terrace Ridge, but that did catch my attention. I came because of Mrs. Westfall's comment at the last council meeting about the mention of possibly repurposing Haywood schools or any of the schools. And I was curious why, when the vote was passed for the levy, why that's even a possibility. And I thought maybe you could explain that to me, why that would even come up to be discussed to save that building.
You want to handle it, Mr. Titterton or Mr. Siebert, since we had that discussion before?
There's a lot of confusion, and it caused a lot of fear in the neighborhood, especially on Ridge Avenue. It's a very historic avenue in Troy. If you don't know it, it's the one that Hobart built. Practically, my home was the first one that had the first dishwasher in it ever. That's a fun fact. And we're already kind of overwhelmed over in that sector with a lot of, I want to say this politically correct, but low-income housing, metro, things like that, things like Terrace Ridge. And one of my big concerns with passing the school levy, and I realize you're not the school board, but it is my understanding you will end up becoming overseers of that land. Am I wrong? Is that a wrong thing to say? I'm not a lawyer, so I have trouble understanding this stuff, and I'm not going to pretend like I do, which is why I'm here. For the regular folk, it is scary to hear something mentioned about Section 8 housing, Metro, whatever all the rumors are, and I can't specifically quote you, and I apologize. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just basically here for an explanation as to, should we be worried about that school being saved, and turned into senior living housing? Or is it just going to go through, like the city of Troy said, or, Troy City Schools with a vote, that it would be, I heard green space, but now I'm hearing shovel-ready. So, I'm just speaking on behalf of the homeowners on Ridge that have already passed a levy to increase their property taxes and now maybe have to deal with the fact that there's going to be a battle over a school that we thought was going to be torn down and have it turned into something that maybe we don't want down there on the corner. So I spent a good bit of the last week or so trying to get a straight answer in a straight line. It was kind of difficult. But I just wanted to speak on behalf of the residents on Ridge that was very alarming. And I don't want to get in another battle with Troy Preservation Alliance. I don't want to have this whole thing like, if it's not even necessary. But I figured since you brought it up, it might be a concern.
Yeah, I have no problem answering.
Okay, I would love that.
To my knowledge that, I believe there's an MOU, and Mr. Titterington, you might be able to clarify that there's an MOU between the City of Troy and the Troy City Schools. So that was an agreement. You want to explain that?
Sure. So this started with an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, that was passed, I want to say, in late 2023, early 2024. That MOU was basically a quid pro quo. The city giving the schools the Campbell and Hook Parks so that they could rebuild their two elementary schools there. In return, the city would receive Van Cleve, Kyle, and Haywood, remediated, the property being remediated, demolished, and in shovel-ready condition, which means, which was defined as not formally defined, but what that means is that it wouldn't be left as a whole. It would be in green space. It would be seeded, but it would be ready for any kind of future development that the CIC in this case would direct. That MOU was fairly quickly, I want to say within 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Ordinance 32, 2024 was passed by council, which directed myself, the Board of Park Commissioners, and the schools, as much as we can direct the schools, but all three entities would execute the MOU, binding us to it, with the first step specifically laid out that those two properties that I mentioned, the two parks, would be transferred to the schools so that they could commit to the project and satisfy their requirements of the Ohio School Facilities Agency. That has been done. We have an executed MOU. It does require the school to demolish and remediate and prepare the site. That has not been amended. To amend that MOU would require not only action by the council but also by the school board. So as it stands, all three properties, all three buildings are required to be demolished and turned over to the city, the CIC, by the end of 2027, which is when the new schools will be up and the school
and part of the packet that you posted where you want to redesign Ridge, and then that would be a baseball field up there?
Those are just ideas. Those
Okay.
are just concepts. That's
All
not
right.
part of the MOU at all. That would
Okay.
require, further council action, designs, engineering, and the whole thing. So that is not part of the MOU. The part of the MOU is...
A lot of my neighbors really like that. I can't speak for all of the neighbors, but I saw it when it was posted online. So, thank you.
I have a question for Grant, based on what Mr. Tiddington just said. So, obviously, in most contractual relationships, an MOU is followed by a written contract. But because he just referenced an ordinance where the council adopted the MOU, in government work, does that constitute a ratification of the MOU to a contract status?
I don't want to, I'm happy to respond to you. If I can respond to you later this week to make sure that I understand
Probably
your
for all
question.
council, because
Sure.
that issue's been brought up by a number of council people. So if you could give us some guidance on whether we have an MOU or whether we have a ratified contract, I think that will be beneficial to everybody on council.
And if that's true, why was Andrea Beach allowed to look at Kyle and not Haywood? I'd be curious about that, too.
Well, and I would further add to be curious, that I thought the levy issue as passed for the schools included funding for demolishing those 3 sites so that they could be turned over to the city shovel-ready. So if that was enough of an agreement with the city for it to be included in the levy issue for the schools, that would seem to make it a further action taken based on that MOU.
And I was also told nobody wanted those schools, and that's not necessarily true.
And I had a question on this as well then, is that,
Let me write
what
all
I'm
these
hearing...
down, 'cause I'm getting 3 or 4 questions.
Let me get all the questions,
in a row.
so I get the answers. And then we'll
I'm never going to remember all these questions. To the first question is, out of respect for Metro and Andrea, and the request to tour Kyle, we just let her do that, as did the schools, because the schools, representatives of the schools were there when she toured the building. Haywood, we've had this discussion that, we had other plans, we had other designs, the concepts in mind, and that was, whether you agree or not, we did not immediately open that one up for touring. As far as others looking at the properties and walking away from it, that is absolutely true. We had several developers go through it as a market rate project. It did not cost benefit any more than a certain property downtown does not, and still sits vacant. As far as my understanding of the funding, having talked to school officials, yes, there is part of the levy calculation included funding. I want to say 60 to 80% funding for the demolition of those 3 buildings, with the other portion, whatever that is, coming from the state financing authority or agency. That is true. Mr. Schilling, you had a follow-up question.
It leads right into what you had just finished talking about, is that should council decide that they want to preserve one of those school buildings, in this case for possibly residential housing, then we would have the ability to amend the MOU and then authorize you to negotiate with the city or with the school system to...
You wouldn't have to.
No, it's not a unilateral thing.
No, I'm saying we could authorize you to contact the school system to see if they'd be interested in amending that, with the idea that if the building was preserved, they would save the taxpayers, not the school system, but the taxpayers, a substantial amount of money by not tearing the building down.
You could certainly ask, for the schools to amend the MOU.
That would be your
is what you're
responsibility. We could ask you to do that, to ask them to do that?
You could do that.
Do we need a resolution to do that?
I do not know what the mechanism would be. That would be a question for Mr. Kerber.
I think we need to wait for Grant, because, I mean, the MOU is pretty clear that it's not a legally binding contract. So the issue is whether, when we voted on the resolution, if that took that to binding.
And that was an agreement among three.
It's further understood that...
Well, it's not only an agreement, but, you know, we signed transfer papers. We don't own those two parks anymore, so the schools receive their interest. So whether it's an executed MOU or it's a contract,
given.
there was consideration on one end, and we're owed consideration on the other, which, in my very pedestrian understanding of contracts, constitutes some level of being bound.
And those properties, I'm sorry, and those properties that go into the CIC will just be given to whoever you choose to give them to, correct?
I think they all have to come
Comes to
down if
council.
we're going to vote.
It comes down to us, not for CIC, doesn't it?
Well, if this is a legally binding contract, then we have to follow those terms.
Have
Which
we
means
even
it has
heard
to
from
be
Andrea, though?
I'm
Because
sorry.
let's just start there. Has Andrea
Has she gotten into Haywood yet? Or is she going to get into Haywood?
but has she had any opinion on Kyle even yet? Have we gotten any sort of reporting back?
That's really not relevant here, but she does continue to have interest in Kyle, yes. She has not gotten into and toured Haywood.
Does she still want to?
She would be amenable if we invited her to, but she knows that these discussions are going on right now.
And I think what Amy mentioned is the voters are not happy because they voted with the understanding that they would be demolished.
But you got all kinds of voters. You got voters that voted for it that may not be for the demolishing.
So how do you go back and redo that vote?
Well, I'm not saying go back and redo it. I'm just, her original question was, somebody wanted to see two buildings, she's only been into one.
But are we gonna open it up then to anybody that wants to walk through? That's my concern. We've already given, the city's given their part, and the return is.
We're being very presumptuous by even inviting anyone to go through that building. And in hindsight, probably should have said no, because the MOU, the executed MOU, says what it says. Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
And we did not invite Andrea to do that. She came to me and asked if she could see those. We arranged for her to see Kyle and told her that there were plans, other plans.
But here's the reality is, we have a contract allegedly, according to Grant's going to advise us, that I just pulled up and reread, that clearly states what Miss Allen indicated, which is that they're going to be shovel ready. So anything beyond that is going to require council and anybody else to modify the terms of a contract, which obviously, I mean, contracts are modifiable all the time, but I think right now, if Mr. Kerber comes back and tells us, oh, we have a contract, then that means Van Cleve, Kyle, and Haywood need to be demolished. And that's the legal status of where we are right now, if this is a valid contract. If it's not a valid contract, because there's language in the MOU that says the MOU is not legally binding contract, even if you do have performance. Mr. Tiddington and I can disagree or agree on whether performance constitutes a contract. I'm not going to say I concur with his opinion, but there are different... So I think the reality is we need Mr. Kerber to advise us where we are right now, and everything beyond that is just speculation at this time until we know what we're even dealing with and whether there is viable alternatives to any of these things. Because I think everybody but Madison would have been on council when we adopted when we ratified the MOU. So we would have all said this is what we wanted done, is to make them shovel ready at the time. And anything beyond that's going to require a new council vote.
But the CIC gets to decide what happens to those, right?
After it's shovel-ready.
After it's shovel-ready.
Which means we have nothing to say after that. You can give them away, you can give them to contract, whoever you want to give them to, right?
I don't know why we're getting into the details here. Mr. Kerber's still got to answer Mr. Sievert's question. I don't have the MOU in front of me. I can't recite it from memory. I would ask, however, Mr. Kerber, as part of your opinion, another thing comes to mind is that this is really a three-party contract, and the park board, since they are a party to that contract, would they not have to agree to amend as well?
They're certainly a party to that agreement, so it is a three-party agreement. However, and the only reason I'm hesitating because I don't want to. I don't want council to. I want to make sure that I get you accurate information because I don't think it's fair to anybody or the public to state what my strong belief is. It's one of those things because it's important. We want to make sure that it's correct, and I'll get you an answer this week.
We probably are about done, but Ms. Rhodes, I just got a text that the video feed is down.
It's recorded, sorry, I don't know why it went down.
Okay, we must have really bored it to death.
Huh?
Yeah, we bored it to death. Shut it down. We're not showing that.
The force showed up.
Just to add, Metropolitan Housing knows that this is not necessarily available. And they're trying to figure out if they're interested and whether or not they could even afford to do it.
Right, absolutely.
We need more data.
Any more questions on this? Any more questions from the audience? My notes say we're going to executive session.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to recess into executive session to confer with legal counsel concerning disputes that are the subject of pending or imminent court action.
Second.
Motion to adjourn to executive session by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mrs. Sneed. Do we need a roll call vote? Mrs. Knight, please.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mrs. Sneed?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Motion is adopted.
We're going to executive session. You're all welcome to take a nap and hang out or go home or whatever, but we will be back.
Are you going home?
Huh?